Welcome back to Fireside, where the flames continue to flicker on history's darkest unsolved mysteries. For us, serial killers are inherently terrifying, but when they are given a nickname as ominous as Stoneman, the fear intensifies tenfold. In 1989, the bustling streets of Calcutta, India, were haunted by an unidentified serial killer who brutally murdered at least 13 homeless individuals while they slept. The terror in Calcutta echoed a similar string of unsolved murders in Mumbai from 1985 to 1988, where another 13 innocent souls met a grisly end under eerily similar circumstances. Authorities speculated that these heinous acts might have been committed by the same person, suggesting the possibility of a single perpetrator responsible for as many as 26 cold-blooded killings. From the darkest alleys of Calcutta and Mumbai to the ink-stained pages of newspaper headlines, we delve into the heart of this case, exploring the history, patterns, theories, and the profound impact the killings have left on society. Next on Fireside Unsolved, Episode 77, let's investigate the unsolved case of the Stoneman murders. The first indications of a serial killer emerged in the sprawling metropolis of Mumbai, India, in 1985, when around 4 o'clock one morning, a piercing shriek shattered the pre-dawn silence. A woman awoke to a horrifying scene near Gandhi Market at King's Circle, a homeless man bludgeoned to death with a heavy stone. This incident was initially dismissed as the work of a thief who had been startled by the sleeping victim and resorted to murder. But, unfortunately, this would be the first of many killings, the beginning of a chilling murder spree that would later be attributed to a now notorious serial killer known as Stoneman. Over the next 3 years, a series of 12 additional gruesome murders plagued the Sion and King's Circle areas of Mumbai. It was only after the 6th murder that Mumbai police finally began to take notice and recognize a pattern in the crimes. The killer's method in every murder was brutally simple. They would find an unsuspecting homeless victim, sleeping alone in a deserted area of the city, away from the public eye. And in the shadow of the night, they would crush their head with a boulder, often weighing up to 70 pounds. Investigations also revealed that the killer was operating within a radius of approximately 3 miles between Sion and King's Circle. The locations of the corpses led to the conclusion that the killer searched for and killed the victims between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. But despite the consistent time frame and geographic area, there were no eyewitnesses to these brutal acts. The initial investigations were hampered by a lack of forensic technology and resources. The absence of advanced forensic tools meant that critical evidence, such as fingerprints or DNA, was either not collected or not analyzable with the technology available at the time. The transient nature of the victims also made it difficult to establish their identities and backgrounds, complicating the search for connections or patterns beyond the method of their deaths. However, like mentioned previously, one of the primary obstacles of the investigation was the lack of any eyewitnesses. The killer only operated under the cover of darkness, and his attacks were swift and silent. So as panic spread throughout India, so did rumors. One theory suggested that the killer was seeking to achieve spiritual goals, with each murder serving as a human sacrifice to please the goddess Kali. Giving credence to this theory was that the killings occurred on Tuesdays and Saturdays, days ruled by the gods Mangal and Shani, astrological signs often associated with evil, doom, and black magic. The residents of Mumbai were gripped by panic, and by 10 o'clock each night, the streets were deserted. Homeless individuals, fearing for their lives, formed vigilante groups to keep watch. The press dubbed the killer Pathar Mar, or Stone Killer, which the English media translated to Stoneman. The police knew the killer's hunting ground and positioned teams throughout the night, hoping to catch him. With all of the murders being committed inside of a 3-mile radius, police were hoping that the area was manageable to patrol and keep a watchful eye. Yet, Stoneman outsmarted all of them, continuing to kill one homeless person after another, as if this killer was just watching and waiting for them to fall asleep in order to make his move. A potential breakthrough emerged when a waiter from a small restaurant from Udupi, India, was admitted to a hospital with a severe head wound. He told authorities at the hospital that he had been sleeping on the pavement and narrowly escaped being bludgeoned to death by mere centimeters. However, the dim lighting in the area prevented him from getting a good look at his assailant, leaving investigators with little to go on. In the midst of 1988, the killings in Mumbai abruptly ceased. However, the reign of terror in India was far from over. On June 4, 1989, the murders that haunted Mumbai emerged in Calcutta. The target, a homeless woman peacefully sleeping on the ground near the iconic Howrah Bridge. With her tragic death, she became the first victim in this new city, setting off a ripple of terror that swiftly engulfed the populace. 1 month later, on July 4, 1989, a second victim was found. When the killings resumed in Calcutta, the police faced immense public and media pressure. Several task forces were set up, and the streets were heavily patrolled at night. Despite these efforts, the killer remained elusive. The police conducted numerous interviews, detained and questioned hundreds of suspects, and even used decoys in an attempt to lure the Stoneman into a trap. However, each lead turned into a dead end. Despite the geographic shift, the modus operandi remained hauntingly similar. The use of a heavy stone as the murder weapon, the choice of victims, and the nocturnal timing of the attacks. However, the use of both boulders and concrete slabs added a new gruesome twist to the killer's sinister deeds. The tension peaked on September 7, 1989, when the Stoneman claimed his seventh victim in Calcutta, mere steps away from the police headquarters. The brazen act of violence caused a public outcry and forced law enforcement to confront the escalating crisis head-on. Rumors circulated, suggesting that the police were unable to apprehend the culprit because they were searching for a man, while the real killer was believed to be a woman. There was an initial belief that the culprit might be mentally disturbed, and the Calcutta police narrowed their focus to individuals exhibiting signs of lunacy or madness, which ultimately led to 3 false confessions. However, the dropping a heavy stone or concrete slab on the victims' heads led the police to theorize that the assailant was likely a tall, well-built, healthy male. Despite this, no eyewitnesses ever came forward to provide a reliable physical description of a suspect. When traditional methods failed to yield results, law enforcement took a more unconventional approach. Officers disguised themselves as homeless people, blending into the surroundings. Pretending to be asleep on the roads, they concealed their firearms beneath thin blankets, patiently awaiting any sign of the killer's presence. But despite these measures, the killings continued. Over the following 6 months, 6 more men would meet the same fate, totaling 13 murders in Calcutta, and 26 killings total between Mumbai and Calcutta. While no suspects have ever been arrested, the Stoneman case has given rise to numerous theories about the identity and motives of the killer. One of the most widely discussed theories suggests that the Stoneman was a mentally disturbed individual with a deep-seated hatred or fear of the homeless. This theory is supported by the consistent choice of victims and the ferocity of the attacks. Another theory posits that the Stoneman could have been a contract killer or part of a larger criminal organization, hired to clear the streets of homeless people. This theory, while intriguing, lacks substantial evidence and has been largely dismissed by investigators. Some criminologists and psychologists have speculated that the Stoneman could have been a local resident, familiar with the areas where the killings occurred. The precise timing and location of the attacks suggest a detailed knowledge of the city's layouts and the routines of their homeless populations. There are also theories suggesting a supernatural element, with some locals believing that the Stoneman was not a human, but a vengeful spirit. These theories, while reflective of cultural beliefs, have not been taken seriously by the authorities. The Stoneman's reign of terror had a profound impact on the communities of Mumbai, Calcutta, and the nation of India as a whole. The murders instilled a deep sense of fear and paranoia, particularly among the homeless population. Many began to sleep in groups or sought shelter in more secure locations, hoping to avoid becoming the next victim. The case also sparked widespread media coverage and public outrage, leading to increased scrutiny of law enforcement agencies and their handling of the investigation. The inability to capture the killer eroded public trust and highlighted the challenges faced by the police in dealing with serial crimes, especially in densely populated urban areas. The Stoneman case also had broader societal implications, drawing attention to the plight of homeless individuals and the dangers they face. It prompted discussions about social welfare programs and the need for better protection and support for vulnerable populations. In recent years, advancements in forensic technology and criminal profiling have renewed interest in the case. Cold case units have revisited the evidence, and there have been calls for the application of modern DNA analysis techniques to any surviving samples from the crime scenes. However, the lack of preserved evidence and the passage of time present significant hurdles. Despite the passage of over 3 decades, the Stoneman case remains unsolved, and to this day, the true identity of the perpetrator remains a mystery, capturing the imagination of true crime enthusiasts and researchers alike. The brutal efficiency of the attacks, the specific choice of victims, and the complete elusiveness of the killer combine to create a narrative that is as haunting as it is compelling. Whether the identity of the Stoneman will ever be uncovered remains uncertain, but the search for answers continues, driven by the hope that one day the truth will finally come to light. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fireside Unsolved. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Until next time, take it easy and be easy, you filthy bastards.